Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest TDF first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, so it seemed like up until trial date in August, day by day we're going to keep getting little updates concerning this OTF trial, in which I'm not even sure if we can still call it that, because according to the feds, they're trying to label it the Durk Banks or Durk Gang Enterprise or something to that extent, where it's looking like Durk is of course at the head of the Rico. They have introduced 2 new charges, including the indictment, one of which was a case involving Stephon Mack being shot and unalive, where the government believes that his death was in retaliation of Durk's brother, Money Making D Thing's death, because they say Stephon Mack allegedly was involved in his demise as well. Given Lil Durk motive, allegedly, they would say that that was the reason he would go and hire 2 individuals to take his life back in January of 2022, which also led to both of the suspects getting arrested. Now they have already presented this case, the first time as a separate superseding indictment in regards to Durk, but it was later dropped. However, somehow, someway, they are now back with that same case, and they believe that this time they have enough evidence to get a conviction out of Durk within that case. And why, you ask? Well, maybe because one of the individuals already admitted that he collected money from OTF affiliates to an agent while he was locked up. Or maybe one of the suspects left their phone in the car. Or maybe police were able to see text messages between the 2 suspects and they mentioned Durk's name heavily, especially involving receiving money from Durk, presumably for the hit. Or maybe one of the suspects who recently took a plea would admit that according to the government that there was in fact a bounty on Stephon Mack's head. Who knows, but that case now seems like it's not going anywhere, and this is just more of a headache for Durk and his attorneys when it comes to this Rico case. Now I'd be lying if I said it's not looking good for Lil Durk, because just off that stuff that we already know lets us know that they probably have more. And the little stuff that they told us already sounds crazy. So imagine the stuff that we don't know they have, and they're saving it for trial. Now, as y'all know, the feds are tricky and very calculated when it comes to trial, and before you know it, you're sitting in the courtroom staring down the eyes of a judge who's telling you got football numbers because the feds done presented some evidence or a confidential informant that you didn't even know that they had. At that point, it's all over. That being said, for the second time, OTF affiliate who's being accused of being a gunman in the shooting of Lil Pab, OTF Dede, would try and sever ties with Lil Durk along with Brown Eyes. Now I think a lot of people have this move here confused. I've seen people on Reddit ask if these guys severing ties from Lil Durk mean that it's a good look for him. And no, actually that's bad, and usually when it's like that, it's because when you catch a case and have co-defendants, especially in the Rico, you guys are basically accountable for each other. Peter pays for Paul, which means that we're all put in basically the same light. And if you have less of a rap sheet than your other co-defendants, your best bet is to separate yourself, because if not, you'll be caught in the same mix and held accountable for things that had nothing to do with you. Now the government dropped more information in regards to this trial, where we will find out that OTF Dede, Brown Eyes, Boogie, I believe they're all trying to sever ties with Lil Durk. Meanwhile, also their attorneys are ready and set for this to happen on August. However, it is stated that Boogie changed attorneys, and with that being said, it may delay trial. So we're going to discuss what all this could possibly mean concerning Lil Durk and the rest of the members. But before we get into the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype the video so we can get into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Hold up, y'all. There's no way you're watching this video for free right now, where you could be getting paid literally just for playing games while this video play in the background at the same time. Only difference is the increase in your bank account. Now, I'm not saying you'll get rich, but I am saying that you could easily make something while doing nothing except for sitting on the couch playing games if you download the app Free Cash. tap or click the link I pinned in the comment section or scan the QR code that I put right here on the screen. Also, if you use my link right now, they give you a little something to start off with just for signing up. So if you want a little Uber Eats or something to snack on and don't feel like dipping into your own wallet, play a few games so you don't have to spend your own ends. Now let's get back to the video. Now, according to the documents, it will state that both OTF Dede and Boogie are trying to separate themselves from Durk, which I'm more than sure it was advised by their attorneys. This usually means when it's a case and there's a bunch of co-defendants and the attorney feels it's more easier to defend you instead of a bunch of them, especially if the charges against the other person are worse, they opt to separate you guys so they can have a better chance. So let's get into the document, starting with Boogie, as it is state quote, "To the clerk of the above entitled court and all interested parties, please take notice that on July 15, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as counsel may be heard in the courtroom of the Honorable Michael W. Fitzgerald, defendant Asa Houston will move and hereby does move for an order severing his trial from that Anthony M. Solis declares as follows. I am attorney at law, licensed to practice in this judicial district. Along attorney Amy Fan, I represent the defendant Asa Houston in this matter. Ms. Fan and I were appointed to represent the defendant in this matter on or about May 15th, 2026 following the withdrawal of prior counsel. Between May 21st and 24th, 2026, I received emails from counsel for co-defendant Banks, Lindsay, and Wilson. Each counsel informed me that they intend to proceed with trial on the date now set and would not be waiving additional time for trial. On or about June 3rd, 2026, I received a discovery in this matter from prior counsel's paralegal. The data on the hard drive approximates 2 terabytes, which compromised the discovery in the case. Since I received the drive, the government has issued an additional discovery production. Based on Ms. Fan's and my review of the materials we have reviewed thus far, it is our professional opinion that we could not be ready for an August 20th, 2026 trial based on A, the complexity of the case, B, the volume of discovery, C, I would need to properly evaluate the discovery, investigate the case, prepare pre-trial motions, and prepare for trial. Upon information and belief, each of us believes that a severance and continuance is required in order to competently represent Mr. Houston. Now, basically in layman terms, Boogie got another lawyer around May of this year, and he's saying that he received over 2 terabytes of data to go over within this case, and he's going to need more time to properly go through it, so it's impossible for trial to start in August, just 2 months away. And if y'all remember, this was the first initial reason they claimed the attorneys and prosecutors came to an agreement the first time to set another trial date due to the complexity of this case. So they had all this time before but still need more time. However, the real question is, why did Boogie's attorneys decide to pull out from the case? That's the question a lot of people need to be asking. Knowing that this would possibly, I guess, prolong the case, or maybe they didn't care, or maybe this was part of the plan the whole time. And if y'all remember, this is also the reason recently OTF Dede wanted to file a motion for a bond hearing because they knew it's a big possibility that the trial would be pushed back yet again, and they don't want to have to sit in jail any longer waiting for this thing to start. I'm sure they would like to hurry up and get this over with because it's already been nerve-wracking not knowing what's going on with your fate. Waking up, not knowing whether you're going to get football numbers or not. I'm sure they would like to hurry up and get this over with, but once again, why did his lawyer decide to pull out from the case so far into it? Or is there something weird going on and this is just another way of these people buying time for whatever reason? Who knows? But here's OTF Dede's document for motion to sever as it is state quote. Defendant DeAndre Wilson, buying through his counsel of record, Craig A. Harbaugh, and David Lindsay, buying through his counsel of record, Tiller J. Mills II, will and hereby do renew his motion under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 14 to sever their trials from that of defendant Durk Banks. The motion is based on this notice, the attached memorandum of points and authorities, the records and files in this case, and any further evidence and argument the court may permit. The court has considered the stipulation, re-expedited briefing schedule for defendants Wilson and Lindsay's renew motion to sever defendants, the stipulation, docket number 422. For good cause shown, the stipulation is granted. The court orders the following briefing and hearing schedule. 1. Defendants Wilson and Lindsay's renew motion to sever defendants, the motion, shall be filed on or before June 10th, 2026. The government's opposition to the motion shall be filed no later than June 17, 2026. 3. Defendants' reply in support of the motion shall be filed no later than June 24, 2026. 4. The motion will be heard on July 1st, 2026 at 2 p.m. in courtroom 5A. It is ordered. Now in the next document to sever, it'll say, quote, Plaintiff United States of America, Defendant DeAndre Wilson, and Defendant David Brian Lindsay, by and through their respective counsel of record, hereby stipulate and agree as follows. Whereas, on October 6, 2025, Defendant Wilson filed a motion to sever his trial from that of his co-defendants pursuant to Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 14, ECF number 230, in which Defendant Lindsay joined, ECF number 249, in which Defendant Houston joined, ECF number 248. Whereas, on February 26, 2026, the court issued an order denying the prior motion to sever and continuing the trial in this matter to August 20th, 2026, ECF number 386. Whereas, on June 3rd, 2026, the grand jury returned third superseding indictment, the TSI, ECF number pending, charging Defendant Banks, Wilson, Lindsay, and Houston with, among other offenses, murder in aid of racketeering in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1959, 1 count, count 1, conspiracy to commit stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. 371, count 2, and use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1958, count 4 and 5, alleging that February 5, 2019, events in Atlanta, Georgia, and the January 27, 2022 events in Chicago, Illinois, are acts of violence and furtherance of a racketeering enterprise referred to in the TSI as the Banks Gang Enterprise. Whereas Defendant Wilson and Lindsay intend to file a renewed motion to sever defendants under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 14 in light of change charging and evidentiary posture reflected in the TSI. Whereas the parties have conferred regarding the briefing schedule for the renewed motion to sever defendants under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 14 in light of the change charging and evidentiary posture reflected in the TSI. Whereas the parties have conferred regarding the briefing schedule for the renewed motion to sever and have agreed to an expedited briefing schedule that will permit the motion to be heard on July 1st, 2026 in advance of the August 20th, 2026 trial date. Whereas the proposed expedited schedule is more compressed than the default schedule under Local Rule 6-1, and the parties therefore stipulate to seek the court's approval of the expedited schedule. Now, therefore, the parties hereby stipulate and agree, subject to the court's approval, that the following expedited briefing schedule shall govern defendants Wilson and Lindsay's renewed motion to sever defendants. 1. Defendant's motion to sever defendants shall be filed on or before June 10th, 2026. The government's opposition shall be filed on or before June 17th, 2026. Defendant's reply shall be filed on or before June 24th, 2026, and the hearing on defendants Wilson and Lindsay's renewed motion to sever defendants shall be held on July 1st, 2026 at 2 p.m. in courtroom 5A before the Honorable Michael W. Fitzgerald. It is so stipulated. Now, once again, in layman's terms, Dede's lawyer is trying to get him severed from Durk and get away from that whole agenda of charging these guys all in one in furtherance of the criminal enterprise. They have until July 1st to let them know whether they will sever him or not, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see until then. Now, for the people asking, oh, is this a win for Durk? No, it's not. Personally, to me, this means that these guys are trying to get away from him because he himself got too much going on. Whereas it seemed like every other day they're piling more and more charges, and it's getting harder and harder to defend them, especially when you got people cooperating. And especially when you have people that was going on drills telling the government everything they know. How can you win against that? That's why it's mind-boggling to me when people say that these guys have a weak case, because then I ask them, how? How is the case weak when they have witnesses and informants? But once again, for these guys that want to sever themselves, more than likely the advice came from their attorney, and he knows what the government have and don't have. So I don't know. But I guess the real question is, once again, why did Boogie's lawyer request to pull out from the trial in such short period of time, leading up to the trial that's supposed to take place in August 20th, 2026? And like I say in every video, before we end this one, y'all keep your eyes on that FBG Duck case, because once again, these guys have already been charged and convicted, and yet none of them have even been sentenced still to this day. Just a reminder. But y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. How do y'all feel about the severance? Do you think it's good or bad for Lil Durk? Y'all let us know in the comments, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. I'm out. Are you tired of a bunch of social media gurus promising you results with their course, but all they do is take a bunch of information off YouTube and Google, then sell it to you? Well, look no further. Our YouTube Tips and Tricks Masterclass course comes equipped with SEO tips and tricks, along with methods we use to growth hack our YouTube channel. It also includes step-by-step ways to publish your video before uploading to guarantee a great SEO score, therefore your videos can rank and be shown to a bigger audience. Views and subscribers don't come by luck, and just how YouTube have an algorithm, you should have one as well that can guarantee you results. We're doing websites and softwares we personally use to generate money creating Faces YouTube channels. If you also would like to skip the process and just buy other pre-built accounts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we also threw that in there for you too. We went through trial and error, so you don't have to. Click the link in the description or the comments and get started today.